Edmark Reading Program by Paige Blair, Georgetown College. The Edmark Reading Program is for students who need an alternative to phonics to learn to read. This program is a carefully sequenced, highly repetitive word recognition method combined with errorless learning. Students begin by recognizing and reading words by themselves. Then they move on to using the word in context of phrases, sentences, and finally, stories. Here's a look at what the Edmark Reading Program looks like. This is the level 1. It's blue. Level 2 is an orange color. The Edmark Reading Program includes a program overview, the mastery test, lesson plan, record books, word recognition books, picture match cards and boards, phrase match cards and boards, stories, reading and social skills games, 2 display masks, word signs DVD, and the rides or Judy's birthday party and certificates. The general overview of the Edmark program includes first, prepare, second, implement, third, record, and fourth, monitor. Steps to begin the program. First, administer the discrimination test. Second, either begin with the pre-reading lessons or administer the mastery test. From there, both will show you where to start in Level 1 program. The discrimination test. The discrimination test is a short screening test. It is used to see which students can scan a line of text on a page and match identical letters and words. If a student makes 3 errors or more, the student will then move on to the pre-reading lessons. If a student makes less than 3 errors, you move on to the mastery test. The mastery test is administered at the beginning of the school year to provide baseline data and to make placement decisions. It is also usually administered after every 50 lessons to show progress and at the end of the year to show growth. The mastery test contains 4 subtests. These subtests include discrimination, picture phrase match, word recognition, and oral reading. So here's the mastery test. This is the booklet for teachers, and I won't go through the whole thing, but on page 4 it starts out with the directions and to give the test, and it's all scripted. This is what the student will get, and you start out with the discrimination test, and if the student makes 3 or more errors, then you'll go back and go to the pre-reading lessons, but if they make less, you go on to complete this whole mastery test. And once that is complete, it'll give you a good idea of where you need to start with the lessons. Once the student has been given the mastery test, you start with the lesson plan / record book. The mastery test results will tell you which lesson to start with. There are so many components to the Edmark Reading Program, and there are some parts that are required to teach and others that are additional. The required activities and components are word recognition, picture match, and phrase match. The other parts of the program are additional, and you can add them in as you see necessary. So if you have a student who's really struggling with a concept, you can go to the other activities and supplement those in as well. Word recognition. At the core of the Edmark Reading Program is the word recognition activity in which students learn to recognize and read the target words quickly and easily. During the word recognition activity, the student repeatedly hears, sees, points to, and reads the new word, thereby memorizing it. There are 153 word recognition activities. These activities provide repeated exposure, and once a word is learned, it moves on to using the word in context. Here is the word recognition book. This is lesson 1 through 51. Then there's the 52 through 102, and then 103 through 153. So it first starts out with some letters and matching letters and finding the same. And also there are some pictures and symbols. Once that they've mastered that, you will see that there are phrases, a girl and a boy. And then as it gets harder, it moves on to sentences, like, is my cow little? Picture match. The 39 picture match activities provide a functional reading experience that builds on skills the students learned in the word recognition activity. The picture match activities help students to comprehend the words that they have previously learned in the word recognition activities. Students read the word on the picture board and match the card to the word. This is picture match. So the student will get these cards and read the phrases, a horse, and they will need to put the picture with the phrase, a car, phrase match. The 39 phrase match activities provide functional reading experience as the student chooses words, phrases, or sentences to describe illustrations of objects and events found in daily life. As the lessons go on, they become more challenging. This activity helps students to generalize their skills that they learned from the word recognition and picture match activities. So this is the phrase match, and this is the board, and this time the student will get a phrase, a box, and they will need to match it with the picture. Yellow fish, the ball, fish. So that one is tricky because there's a yellow fish and these fish, but you have to really be able to read that and match to the correct picture. A boy in yellow. So here's a boy and here's a boy. So if they just read a boy, they may not know which one to put, but a boy in yellow, a boy and a horse, the Edmark Reading Program uses research-based instructional strategies throughout the program. Some of these strategies include errorless learning, positive reinforcement, manipulatives, oral vocabulary, controlled vocabulary stories, social skills enrichment, and continuous progress monitoring. The teaching strategies that the Edmark Reading Program uses include individualized instruction, monitoring progress, teaching to enhance self-confidence as readers, promoting socialization and generalization, and integrating print and software. Conclusion. There have been many studies that suggest that the Edmark Reading Program does in fact result in positive growth in students' reading abilities. The Florida Center of Reading Research writes, the Edmark Reading Program provides instruction in sight word vocabulary that is consistent with the principles of behavioral psychology and direct instruction. One study produced large effects for word identification. According to the journal article Effect of Edmark Program on Reading Fluency in Third Grade Students with Disabilities, students who participated in the Edmark Reading Program, or ERP, showed increased gains in fluency over those in the control group, and the Edmark Reading Program group showed an improvement in both student attitudes and student engagement.